because I didn't tell very many people. I had this like low-key obsession with big trucks, and it's and it's not about like pickup trucks and stuff. It was the semi trucks. I don't know what it was. My family wasn't in it. I didn't come from a background where anybody was involved in the trucking industry. So it was just such an odd thing to be like affected by.
You are listening to Feminine Will, powered by Sweatseat. I'm Andrea McKee. This is a show about women who choose athleticism, adventure, and bravery every day. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome back to Feminine Will. Today I have on the show Shelby. Shelby actually is super interesting to me because I came across her randomly. I don't even know how. I found her Instagram. I was like, wow, she is rocking Instagram as a truck driver. Like, she has taken what maybe doesn't always look like a glamorous job, and she's made it look fun and interesting, and she's on all these adventures. And I thought, wow, I've been wanting to interview more women who are adventurous and brave. And to me, that was very adventurous and brave. So I couldn't wait to see if she'd be willing to connect. And you're going to hear a conversation today. It's really fun. She's a super dynamic person, really smart, strong, fun. And she actually was pre-med, partway into a master's program as well, doing Pediatric Neurology. And she decided, you know what, I need to let myself do the thing I've always wanted to do, and that happened to be truck driving. So she's going to share that journey, and she's going to share what it's like, and you're going to hear all about it. So tune in just a few minutes. As always, a quick message from the sponsor, Sweatseat. Sweatseat is a product that I invented, and I'm really proud of it. This Monday, actually, today, we have a sale going on, and it is buy one, get one 50% off. That's a huge deal. You guys, it is not cheap making these things. Made in the U.S., ethical manufacturing, living wages, and their seat covers that are 100% waterproof, made for women by women, namely me. I designed the product. It's patent pending. And it is literally the best seat cover on the market. Trust me, I know. I've done the research. I've looked around. I didn't like anything. I am a runner. I've been running since 8th grade, and I used to carry a towel around in my car, and I just got sick of carrying a bulky towel that looked ugly in my car, and so I wanted a new solution, and I built Sweatseat. No buckles, clips, or snaps. The easiest thing literally in the world to put on and off. It is super cute. I was not going to wear something on my car that was ugly, so I made some really, really cute designs, and we now have 3 designs for sale. The Swexy, which is really cute and feminine, and the Classic, which is pretty gender neutral, black, just basic, awesome Sweatseat. And then there's the Neon series, and I just got a ton more pink because I sold out of the pink as soon as it came out, and now I've got more on hand. So buy one, get one 50% off. Go online, make your orders. If they're out of stock, I still have you to where you can make orders. So go check it out, SWETSEAT.com. They start at $88, and I promise you they're worth it. They have been used for pretty much everything. If you're a dog mom, if you're a kid mom, if you're a person, if you sweat, if you swim, if you get dirty ever, and this is how you make peace with your car, because nobody likes to get dirty and then sort of get to their car and be like, now I got to figure out how I'm going to not get my car dirty or wet or gross. So we're here to make peace with your car. Go check it out, sweatseat.com. I also just want to take a minute to think, just for me to just take a moment and remember the many people who have fought for our freedom, the people who have lived and died for our freedom. And I think that each of us, as we are conscientious of our choices, can make an impact on future generations. I've had family members who served in the service, and although war is a terribly tragic method of solving problems. I am truly grateful for the people who gave their lives and who have served our country in various ways and continue to do so. So I just wanted to take a minute and remember that today. And now for my conversation with Shelby, also known as Happiness by the Mile.
Starting out, I was born in Fort Myers, Florida, which is in the southwest part of Florida.
My grandmother is from there. That's wild.
It's down by the Everglades, so it doesn't really get above 60 many days out of the year. I think we have like 2 days where it reaches like 30, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's getting cold. And it's super exciting because sometimes I think maybe there was this one year where we saw frost on the windshield, and I was freaking out. I was like, this is so cool. So I basically grew up in this tropical bubble, and I really didn't get out much. Like, I didn't know much about the country, or, I mean, I had taken a few trips to Georgia and Kentucky where parts of my family live, and so I got to see the mountains, and I kind of fell in love with the mountains and everything that was green and hilly. And I was like, oh my gosh, like there's actual hills. And, because it's all flat down there.
Yeah.
And so I got accepted to Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida. So that was definitely a big change of scenery for me. And so I went up there, and I was away from, my friends and my family for a while pursuing my degree. And while I was pursuing my degree, I just kind of was, just going hard at academics. And I'm very school oriented, where like I focus and I kind of tunnel vision towards that. And so everything else kind of fell to the wayside. So I never went out, had fun, or spent time, doing things like that.
I was the same way. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was never a party person. So I really just didn't fit in with that. So I kind of was always alone. And so I think that kind of added to my burnout. So I enrolled in my first semester of my master's, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but during that semester, I really just, I don't know, I felt like I hit a wall. And I think, and I don't even know if I remember correctly, 2 of the classes, I didn't even go to my finals because I was just so done. Yeah. I was so done. and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I punishing myself? Why do I feel like this is not the path for me? Or
almost like you were trying to fit yourself into a box that wasn't you.
Exactly. I was following somebody else's dream that wasn't mine. And I was lucky enough to have a friend at the time who knew me very well. And he said to me, okay, so what is it that makes you happy? And I remember I had told him, because I didn't tell very many people, because it was just such an odd thing for me, but I had this like low-key obsession with big trucks. And it's and it's not about like pickup trucks and stuff. It was the semi trucks. I just thought
That's so funny.
I know. I totally look like I would never be that person, but I don't know what it was. My family wasn't in it. I didn't come from a background where anybody was involved in the trucking industry. So it was just such an odd thing to be like affected by,
Interesting.
and I think it stemmed from the fact that I am such a small person, and I don't know, I really wanted to drive something that was that big. I felt empowered a little bit by that. So yeah, it was sort of weird like that.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can do that, and it would be cool to tell other people I can do that, right?
Yeah.
And so he was like, well, you really like trucks. And he saw my face light up when he said that, because I'd never once considered it. And I just I joked all the time and I said, this is my bucket list item. And it's the only thing on my bucket list.
No way.
It is there. Yeah. At like, I think, 22, 20, yeah, I was 22. 22, I decided I'm making a bucket list. This is the thing on my bucket list so far.
Wow.
And
that's
that
really
was
just from like you driving around and seeing trucks and you're like, those are huge and I'm tiny. I want to drive that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
that
just
is awesome.
No rhyme or reason, just like, that's cool. I want to do that. And so with his, like, just, I guess, support, I went ahead and I started looking into it. And I started on Craigslist, because I don't know why, but I always saw the ads on Craigslist and I was like, I'll start there, you know? And so I just started doing research on all the different companies and how I could possibly do it. And after about a week of research, and this is all still while I was going towards my master's, like I was doing this in the middle of it, and I was like, this is.
And what were you studying?
So I don't really exactly remember what I was doing for my master's, considering I only started one semester, but I'm pretty sure it was either something going into education or some kind of psychology field for counseling kids.
Because I remember reading on your website that you did psychology, I think, for your undergrad.
Yes. So I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology.
Okay. And so you were thinking, well, maybe I want to go into counseling for kids, and then you were just like, this just isn't working for me. It's not something I want.
It's not about, what's so funny is it's not about the path I was taking. It's not about the thing that I was going to do, because I still love the idea of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was that I think I starved myself for so long of something that excited me and fulfilled me that I needed to break out of that. So
wow, that's really beautiful.
Yeah, with help, I moved everything that I had into a storage unit across the border in Georgia, because it was cheaper.
Okay.
And I left my things in a storage unit, and I got a company sponsor to send me to trucking school. And
what? Wait, how did you do that? How did you even know I need a company sponsor to go to trucking school?
So it's actually a very common thing in the trucking industry, because a lot of people going into the trucking career do not have the money to pay for the school up front. And sometimes the school can be anywhere from like $4,000 to $10,000 for like a 4 to 7 week course. It's kind of insane. Yeah.
Does everybody have to do that in order to be a trucker?
I would think it would be it would be insanely hard if you had to do that without going through a school, because you would have to first go to the licensing place, your DMV, your local DMV, and take 3 written exams or on the computer, depending on how rural the area is. And you have to take those just to get your learner's permit. And then you have to, if you weren't at a school, you would have to find somebody that would allow you to drive their truck and learn how to drive it. And so that would be hard if you weren't at a school. And then also there's all these different maneuvers that you have to learn how to do, and they test you on those. So then after you get the 3 exams to get your learner's permit, you have 3 exams that are now skill-based, like you driving the truck. And so you get one of them which is an entire pre-trip of the truck, and you have to name all the components and sort of tell the examiner what you're looking for and how you would inspect it and why something might be wrong with it. So it's kind of like you have to be like almost like a beginner course for like truck mechanics or something.
Yeah. You're going to have to troubleshoot the truck to see kind of, okay, what, like, how do I know which shop to take it to and what to do, and
exactly,
and if I can fix it myself or if I needed a service on it.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not really that in depth. There's just so much. There's the amount is just, it's the amount of parts is just crazy. And then you have to make sure that you say everything correctly. And that's the key point, and not miss any points, because then they start to dock you and you can only miss so many points on the entire truck. And for my exam, it took me about an hour, I believe, to do the entire pre-trip of the truck. So that's just walking around and pointing out everything to him.
Wow.
So, and then the second test is a skill-based test where you go into a parking lot and they have cones or barriers of some kind where they make you do certain maneuvers around them. So they'll tell you, hey, I want you to basically back your trailer over here, and you only get so many times that you can get out of the truck, so many times that you can pull the truck up straight forward. So it's funny because the test starts as soon as you start backing, and then you only get so many times that you can pull up and readjust.
How did you do on it?
I got 100%.
Way to go!
Yeah, I was shaking too. I was like, oh my gosh, and so they make you even parallel park the truck as one of the tests.
I can barely parallel park my car.
And it's funny, the small space they make you park it in, they make you have about like a foot at each end. I might be exaggerating this. It might be a foot and a half.
Probably not, yeah.
But
I mean, probably not exaggerating.
Yes. But it is just so tiny that you're just like, oh my goodness gracious, please let me do this.
And how did you do?
I got 100, so that means like I did it
Girl, that's
perfectly.
amazing. You knocked it out of the park.
I know. I was super surprised. I thought for sure I would just, I don't know. I thought for sure I would at least miss some points, but apparently that was okay.
It's that that focused girl in you, like that
I know.
That focused woman. Just it's all that schooling experience that you just.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think the performance I had to do in school definitely helped me perform in this job. Yeah.
That's really amazing. So how did you even find your company sponsor? Like, did you know somebody?
No, I didn't know anybody at all. And so that's why I was on Craigslist. And after researching, they have recruiters for like the mega carriers is what we call them. So those are the companies that have a lot of trucks on the road. You see them, they're the main names, Okay. It's just like seeing a 7-Eleven or like a Maverick.
Like FedEx?
Yes.
Okay.
FedEx would be a mega carrier, except they do not do people straight out of school most of the time.
Okay.
It's very complicated there, so it's very hard to get into FedEx if it's your first job, and a lot of things have to align. But no, I did not start there. Okay. I don't generally say where I started because I don't feel like I want to promote that company.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
They were not a bad company. They 100% were not a bad company, but I don't want to influence anybody in making that choice, because I believe, there's a ton of choices out there and people need to make the choice that's right for them, not just go somewhere because someone that they, I guess, follow should do the same thing, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do is convince people or give people the information so they can make the choices that are right for them. And there's so much opportunity out there and so much variety in the field of trucking that you can pretty much find a job, that suits you. What your brother's doing or what your cousin's doing or what your friend's doing may not fit your lifestyle. It's just, you got to kind of take the information and find out what works for you.
So where did you go from there? You graduated trucking school, you got your CDL license there, I'm assuming. And CDL just means, what is it? Certified driver?
No.
What does it mean?
Commercial driver's
That's
license.
Right. I knew that.
I think I found out in Canada. So in America, we call it a Class A for the combination vehicles.
Okay.
And in Canada, apparently it's a Class 1, which I thought was interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Because we cross the border a lot. I don't cross the border because I don't have my passport done.
Okay.
That is on my list.
You got a new thing on your bucket list. You probably have a lot more things on there now, huh?
Oh, yes.
Because now you've given yourself a chance to dream.
Exactly. You take that first step, and that's basically where the whole concept came from for Happiness by the Mile is taking that step out and following the thing that actually excites you and makes you happy. And what's so funny is I would have never guessed that this was it. But it just took that situation where I was so low and somebody who cared about me saying something and convincing me that it's okay to follow something even when it's outrageous, and it's scary because I had nobody to help me. Absolutely nobody knew what I was about to walk into. And so that's another reason why I started what I'm doing, is not just the concept behind it, but also to help people within my industry. So I'm hoping to hit both sides, people who are outside of trucking. You can do what you want to do, not just if you dream it, but try to look for those things that excite you, that are just in the distance. It's so often that we just let them go and we just assume that, hey, I like that thing, and that's cool that I like that thing, but you could do something with that, you know?
And in a way, it's like reinventing yourself. It's evolving into almost a new person with a lot of your just your normal traits and your normal you are you, but you're also in a way a new person.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like evolving yourself. It's finding out that there is this other hidden part of yourself that you never fostered because you didn't know it could be something.
Yeah.
And I want people to try to explore those things, because I never thought that I could feel this good about something.
Wow.
Even as strange as the industry is and as odd as I am in this industry, it's about the adventure and the freedom that I feel doing something that I love.
I really think that one of the most powerful things is kind of making your way into something that you have no idea about. So for me, it would have been opposite. If I had decided I was going to go into trucking, my dad knew people in the trucking industry, and I could have made my way in there. He probably could have even taught me, because I think my dad had driven. I feel like maybe my dad drove some trucks. I don't know. I think he had a commercial. I'm pretty sure he had a commercial driver's license at one point. And it was kind of like, if I had wanted that, I could have done it, but nobody in my family had done hardly any college. And so if I wanted to go to college, which I did, I had to figure it out by myself, which was a totally new world. So it's almost opposite for me. For your family, college sounds like maybe was the norm. For my family, it wasn't, and it would have been different, So I think either way, whether you're going to college or you're going into trucking, the power of going into something totally new where you have to sort of navigate it almost yourself or just trying to figure it out through maybe somebody you know who might have a connection to it, I think is a really empowering thing. And I think it really builds confidence.
Yeah. And so I guess with technology becoming what it is and our ability to share things, there's just so much information out there, right? That's where I looked for information on the industry. And I was completely disappointed because there isn't much on this industry. So I really went in blind. And that's where I found my drive to start creating material for people who are in my situation that really want to do this, or they want to know more about it, just to help them know, is this something that I want to do? Am I ready for this? What do I have to sacrifice for this? And I wanted to provide all that information because I was so stressed not knowing anything.
Well, and so that's actually, I went onto your website and I can see you've organized it well so that people who are interested in getting into the industry at least have some reference points of like what they need to do, how to get the license, what to do next, how to find like a trucking company that suits them. Like all those things, right, are things that you've started addressing and trying to make available. And you've even got like a YouTube channel that has over almost 150,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And you've got a killer Instagram account, and you make trucking look really good.
Yeah, and I'm worried about that too because, like, I feel I
feel like you're honest about it too. No, I think you're honest about it too. Like, because I was recently watching a video of yours where you're talking about like truck driving isn't all good. Like, it's got its challenges, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But I really wanted to, hang on, I have to mute that. So I wanted to know where you went from driving school to next. You got your first job. Where was that based out of?
It was based out of, well, it didn't matter. So a mega carrier their home base can be somewhere, and you go everywhere.
Got it. Okay, so you went to a mega carrier right away.
Yes.
And was it after that you went to FedEx?
Yes, it was actually.
So okay.
It was a fluke, to be honest. I was with this mega carrier and I drove over the road, all the 48 states, all the lower 48. So I went everywhere. I had been to everywhere in the United States within my first year except for 2 states, which was North Dakota and Vermont. I had done a lot of different loads, and I felt like it opened a whole new world. I never knew places like Portland and the west coast of Washington existed. That was something I saw in fairy tale books. I am from Southwest Florida, where this stuff does not exist, And, seeing the desert, and I was like, oh, the stuff in movies is real.
Did you have like a favorite state that you visited, or favorite, like, do you have an experience within that first year that stands out to you, or favorite state or experience? Yeah. I think I just repeated that.
It's okay. One of my first, I don't know if it was my first time in Washington. It might have been. But Nintendo has their headquarters in a small town called North Bend, Washington.
What?
And it's like 30 minutes right outside Seattle, and it's completely surrounded by mountains. And I remember getting there really early in the morning and waiting for the sunrise, waiting for the place to open for me to go in. And as the sun was coming up, it was like this beautiful yellow sky with purple clouds, and the mountains were blue and they were white capped. And then all of a sudden this herd of elk shows up in the front lawn of Nintendo, and they have a big lawn, but apparently they just live around there and they come around all the time. So I remember pulling in that morning and getting out of my truck, and I had to get out in the middle of the herd.
That's
and
awesome.
I was so scared.
I bet. You're like, please don't be in mating season.
I was really nervous because I think one of them was grunting, and I was like, oh no.
Please just be nice to me.
They were huge, and I just remember that, and it was just unbelievably beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And
wow. It's okay.
And I remember I came there to pick up their trash.
I didn't know that truckers haul trash.
No, it's like if people send back products and they crush them up, or
okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
So they're trash in quotations. Yeah, and then I took it down to a place in LA, and I remember having to back off the street and behind all these trash cans, and it was the craziest thing. I was like, how do we go from so beautiful, so perfect, so wonderful to stressful and horrible? It's those little victories like that make you feel so accomplished, though.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing that I just get from this is I feel proud of what I do.
I bet you do. You couldn't not.
Yeah, it's sometimes it definitely tries you, and I remember so going along with one of my best days, one of my worst days was I don't know if this is necessarily the worst day ever. I think I just don't think in that way, so I don't ever see something as being the worst day ever. I've had some challenges.
Right, and so, some rough moments. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's important not to label things like that.
I totally agree. Yeah, good point.
So looking back, I can see this one time, and I think this might have been a year and a half ago. And I was doing my FedEx doubles over to Portland. And on the way to Portland, there's a place, it's called Cabbage Hill. And Cabbage Hill is known for being treacherous in the winter time. The amount of snow, and just they can't plow it fast enough,
Oh, yeah.
And so the thing is, we were heading that way, and then we were coming up to Cabbage, and there was chain law, which means that I had to pull over and put on chains in order to keep going. And there's levels of chain law for trucks. So sometimes you just have to chain a couple of tires on your truck, and they have to be towards the front. And sometimes you have to chain the entire thing, except for your steer tires.
And how do you know the difference?
So that's what's hard about this job, which I was thinking about doing a whole thing in the wintertime, doing a video on this, because I didn't know this. It's kind of just trial by fire.
Whoa, that seems like a bad thing to trial by fire.
I know. But sometimes the good thing about it is the trucking industry is a family. So if I didn't know what to do, I could get out of my truck, go to the truck in front of me, and ask him.
Oh, okay.
And be like,
yeah.
What's going on? How do you know this? And so there'll be signs. So we initially know because there's signs blinking at us saying, hey, chain law. So we'll pull over into the chain up area, and they're all marked. So it's pretty, self-explanatory.
Yeah, I've seen those on the road. Signs that say trucks chain up in this area or something. Yeah.
So they'll say trucks carry chains a certain date through a certain date. Usually it's like August through May.
Okay.
So you pull over, and so I knew that today was going to be everything. So I was like, okay, so I got out. I got all my chains out, and they're very, very heavy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how heavy are they? Because I can't imagine that trains for a truck tire would be light by any means.
I know. And the tires, go up to like my stomach
Yeah.
area. So
they're tall.
they're huge. And so I get out, I get all the chains out of the truck, which most of the time I just drag them out and then let them drop on the ground.
Yeah.
Because
and
why?
then like drag them along the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You drag them.
What are they like? They've got to be at least like 50, 75 pounds each, right?
Yeah. And the horrible thing is they bag 2 in a bag.
Oh.
So the bag is super heavy. So most of the time I can drag the bag out and I'll let it drop on the ground and then I'll cut it open, because you actually need to cut these bags open. There's no way to like rip them open. They're like a fabric, I think. And I don't know. Anyway, so they have the chains in them. And so here I am. I chained the entire truck, and which took me, generally it takes you about an hour to chain. And being doubles, I have 2 more chains than just a regular truck. And like the regular trailers you see on the road are 53-foot trailers, and they have 2 axles on the back. So for the doubles, I have an axle, just 1 axle on the rear of each trailer. Plus I have a dolly that is the front axle of my rear trailer. And so how they hook together.
Okay, so you have 2 trailers instead of just a long 53-foot
Yes.
bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so instead of 18 tires, I have 22.
Okay. And they both just hook on to like the short truck.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you need like a combining unit. So it's actually, if they ever write you a ticket, it's technically 3 trailers because of that unit in the middle can be taken apart. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I went and I chained all of my tires that I was supposed to chain, which is 10. And so I went on. And the chain law was only for about 30 miles, I believe. And then there was a 15-mile gap between the 2.
Wow.
And then you had to chain again.
No.
So you were supposed to take them off.
No.
Go 15 miles and then chain again. And me being the person I was like, oh, I really don't want to do that. Like, that is so much work. And so being still kind of new to all this, I was like, I'll just roll really slow. Because with chains on, you can only go about 30 miles per hour tops.
Okay.
So generally I run about 25 to try to give me that cushion. So if I get up to 30, because they start to break.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then they could also be hard on the road, right? The
yes,
pavement,
exactly.
The asphalt, start breaking it up over
exactly.
time.
So if you look at any mountainous area, you will see grooves where the trucks climb the mountains with chains.
Okay. I have seen those actually. I didn't know that was why.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll start to like kind of see these things now because now your eyes are open to all this stuff going on. So I rode. I broke 2 of my chains. One of them ripped off an airline to one of my tires. And so I remember pulling over to get them off the tires because I saw it dragging and I was like, no.
You're
so
like, no.
I was like, we all make silly mistakes.
You're like, dang it. I thought I could do this one and like get away with the 15 miles. No.
Yeah. So I ended up taking them all off and trying to rip those 2 off because they were stuck on things. And then I eventually got them off. Somebody told me about this thing that was on my trailer. So we have these fancy things that fill our tires while we roll because, trucks have air brakes. So we have a system that constantly supplies air to the truck to release the brakes.
Is that the Jake brakes?
No.
Okay.
So a Jake brake is an engine brake. It has nothing to do with the brake pedal or the air being supplied to the brake or to the trailers in the back. The way that the trailer brakes work is they're spring-loaded brakes. So if the truck is sitting, which I think this is genius, by the way. If the truck is, or the trailer gets dropped, right? There's no unit supplying air to apply brakes to the truck, which is apparently how it used to work. And so they had to like chalk the trailers and make sure, like, you know, if it was leaking air, the system was always full with air so it could keep the brakes on. This guy comes here and goes, let's reverse it. Let's put springs on the brakes so when the trailer's sitting and it has no air in it, the springs apply the brakes. Then when we put air into the system, it pushes the springs away from the brakes and lets the tires roll freely. So that's why there needs to be air supplied to the trailers to allow the trailers to roll. Because if they lose air, this is part of the reason trucks burn their brakes. If they start to lose air within the system, the brakes begin to apply to the trailer, therefore, you know, heating up the brake pads as they go. Well, can you go?
Your cute dog.
I know. She's like, oh, you haven't pet me in like the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
So please pet me.
And so is that why there's so many runaway ramps, is because that's typically the reason that truckers' brakes will go out?
Yes. So when people ride their brakes down the mountain, they are applying the brakes, but they're also losing air pressure and they're not building up that air pressure. So you got to think about every time you press that brake pedal, you're expelling air.
Okay.
To allow the springs to come back.
So how do you prevent that? Do you just like lower the gears so that you're using the engine to slow down your truck? Yes.
And then there's something, I'm not completely certain on the mechanics of the Jake brake, but yes, the Jake brake is an engine brake, and yes, you shouldn't be going down that mountain in a high gear because you can use the gear. Yeah, you can use the gear to slow you down.
Okay.
And plus your RPMs would be too high if you turned on that Jake brake at a higher gear, and then you would just damage your engine and probably end up rolling down the hill anyways.
Yeah. Are you impressed at how much I know?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You know, it's actually really funny just because somehow driving has always been like this kind of like thing in my family where you become a good driver. I think it's because my dad, I know he had a CDL at one point. And I think that it's just like you learn how to drive and you learn how to drive well. And so there were all these things like, do you have like a CB in your truck that you use? And then you can talk to other truckers and let them know like things that are going to be on the road to watch out for or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually, a lot of people aren't having CBs anymore, but a lot of us still do. I've had a couple of trucks that have had a CB in it already. I just got sent some CBs by a company to try out. So I'm going to be putting them in my truck. And yeah, and we have our own little, I guess, language, so to say. Yes. And it's,
And a CB is just like, does it use satellite or what does it use? Because it doesn't use the cell phone towers, does it? Like,
no, we just have antennas between our trucks. Okay. So it's called Citizens Band Radio. Okay. And basically you can only send and receive signal within like a certain mile radius of your unit.
Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, almost like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, a high-powered walkie-talkie.
That's awesome. So when I was little, I just want to do this and then I want to get back to asking more questions. Okay. But when I was little, my favorite thing in the world, because we lived on this street and it had like 4 lanes, we were like by 4 lanes of traffic going one way, and the truckers would come down this main lane in our town in Idaho. And we would always run out and go like this to the truckers. Do you ever get little kids doing that?
That's so funny because when a little kid, or I've had grown adults hang out of their windows of their cars and do the air horn. And I'm not kidding you, it makes every truck driver's day because we want a reason to blow the horn.
Awesome. I will do that from now on because I still like to do it. Sometimes I tell my kids how to do it. For the people just listening on the podcast, you basically just like put your arm like you're going to flex it, but just pull it down like you're pulling down, like you're doing a pull up on your, like with your hand. And then the truckers, if they see you doing that with your one hand, like they will honk their horn. And it, like, every time I've done it my whole life, they smile and I smile, and it's the biggest, like, funnest thing ever.
Yeah, I recently got that from a couple of kids. They were with their mom. Oh, this was during the beginning of COVID. So there was a lot of cleanup crews, like on the outside of the highway in Idaho. And they were smaller highways. They were U.S. routes, so they weren't like in immediate danger or anything. And the kids, they were little boys, and they came running to the road, and they were they were doing their little fist pump thing. And I saw them from across the interstate going the opposite direction. And, it's so much fun. And then it makes our day because, it's kind of going away, because you used to be kids on like school buses would do it. Kids don't do that anymore. They're too involved in their cell phone. They're not looking at the trucks trying to find something fun to do.
Did you know about it when you were a kid?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so it must be like a normal thing that everybody knows about, maybe.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think maybe the younger generations are starting to
be less aware of that.
Exactly, just like, how slang
cultural
changes.
Exactly.
So maybe it'll come back. I think definitely in the West it is more common, just because I think more people have family members that are in the industry. Seeing the kid do the air horn makes his day.
That's so great.
It's like the kids recognize the trucks.
Yeah.
And we get to interact with somebody outside of the truck, which is awesome. Yeah. Because, we're by ourselves all the time. And that's another thing why, like, more of us should have CBs, which I'm hoping to kind of get that back,
Yeah.
With the little bit of power that I have, or influence I have towards just getting information out there. I don't want to ever convince somebody that they need something or they have to do something. I just want to spread information and make people more aware of things. And give them the option and being like, hey, this is how it used to be. I know you probably never knew this, because a lot of people are getting into the industry that are just like me, that don't have any background in it, and therefore have nobody to tell them about these things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a clique, you gotta...
Like a family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a family. It kind of helps you know that people understand what you're doing, what you're going through, and helps you connect on a different level. What are some general things that you feel like... as a truck driver, you're like, people should know this about trucking? Like if I'm a driver and I'm going down the road, what are the things that are the pet peeves for you guys?
Okay, so one thing with the new technology that's coming out on the trucks, one thing that is getting increasingly hard for us is cars, which... Fun fact, we call them four-wheelers. Any kind of vehicle that is not a big truck is a four-wheeler, okay?
That's awesome.
We don't care if you have a dually, you're a four-wheeler, okay? If you're passing us, if you're merging in front of us, get at least 100 yards away from us before you merge in front of us. I understand in tight traffic, that's kind of hard to avoid. I understand that. When we're going at higher speeds, we have a radar in front of our truck that actually hits the brakes on the truck. If you guys cross over too close in front of us, it's scary for us because the truck automatically brakes by itself.
Oh.
And so the one thing that I would tell people is, if you think you're far enough in front of us, go farther.
Okay.
Before you get over. And just, if we turn our blinker on, say we're in the slow lane and it's a 2-lane highway and you're passing us in the fast lane, you know, because generally you're going to go faster than us. We're governed at lower speeds, so our trucks can't go as fast because that's just how it is in the company. They make sure the trucks can't go certain speeds. So here we are going along at 65 and you're coming at us at 70 and there's somebody on the side of the road. Trucks will generally try to get over for anything on the side of the road, only because we're so big. The harm that we could cause somebody on the side of the road just getting nicked by us is just, it's incredible. And we could kill somebody so easily. So we're doing our best to protect the person on the side of the road. So most of the time when we turn our blinker on, it's because we need to get over for a good reason, not because we want to ruin your day. And so what's funny is there was a guy the other day, or a girl, that actually was halfway up to my trailer, was halfway in the middle of it, and I turned on my blinker. They saw it, and they actually slowed down. They took the time to slow all the way down so I could get over. And I was like, wow, that's incredible that they were so kind to do that. It honestly doesn't matter. Speed past us or slow down, don't hang around, you know?
Yeah.
Because we can't see you. We have tons of blind spots, and especially on the right side, don't pass on the right side. We can't see you. And if we try to get over, if we're trying to turn our blinker on to the right side and you're on the right side, you gun it or slow down, because we can't see that you're there and you're in serious danger. But if you honk your horn and stuff, like, I always listen. I try to look. I look several times before I get over. I do everything I can to try to protect everybody around me. And I'm very courteous. Like, in merge zones, if it's like lots of traffic and people are trying to merge, you know, usually people take turns, right? Or that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm such a big vehicle that I will let 3 to 4 cars in to keep everything moving, because I know, because it makes sense, you know. It keeps everything moving.
Yeah.
And we're out there to also look out for the little guys. Like, we're looking out for you. And if we see something happen to you, we're the first ones to stop, you know. And I think the thing is, people have seen us more as a nuisance than guardians of the highway, as we used to be.
Oh, interesting.
And because I used to hear stories of, you know, there's a person on the side of the road, right? And they blow a tire in the middle of nowhere, in like the desert. Who's the person that's going to come by and help them, to stop and help them change a tire? Actually, I had a real life example of this. When I was younger, I was on the way to a gymnastics meet with my mom. And if I remember correctly, there was a truck that stopped behind us to help us because she blew her tire in one of the fast lanes and went over, you know, and merged like 2 lanes across to get to the shoulder. And I think there was a truck driver that might have seen it and stopped. I don't remember who stopped, but I don't know. My memory says it was a truck.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Because most of the time, the truck driver has the skill to help, you know?
Yeah.
And I am not very good at changing tires, but I could do it if I had to.
Yeah.
I think people would be, that's one thing that I struggle with. I feel embarrassed to stop sometimes, because I don't know how they would see that. Would they feel offended that I came to help them? because I'm a little girl driving a truck. They're like, and they're probably like some, I don't know, if it was like a middle-aged man or something, and I don't know. Like, how would that look? I wouldn't stop. Usually I'll give it to somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
But there's plenty of times where I've offered coolant to people who have, run out of coolant in their cars. And I'm like, hey, does your car use this? You can have some of mine.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I really think, you're right about there having been like a whole culture around truck driving. I know, like, growing up, I heard a lot of songs, like country songs, and just, it was a popular theme back in like 60s, 70s for trucking. And I knew a lot of those songs because that's what we listened to. Yeah. And I'm curious if like other people listening to this podcast had grew up with that kind of music too, but.
Yeah, no. And I actually didn't.
Okay.
I know of some songs, but not a lot. I learned a lot about it when I got into it because I was like, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate this. And so, you'd have people like, I think Aaron Tippin was in the 80s and 90s that he has most of his songs in. And I know what you're talking about. The old ones like
Convoy. Do you know that one?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
and you have the really old ones like Red Sovine's Teddy Bear.
Yes.
And Phantom 309.
Oh my gosh, I loved those.
Right?
Yes.
And they're beautiful. They're so well written that it is so.
It's touching.
It makes me, every time I listen to Teddy Bear, I will cry.
Me too.
There's no holding the tears back. And it's things like that make us like feel like we're part of something bigger. That's the guardian of the road that I'm talking about is, and so now we only have like a few people that will sing about the songs, but they're not mainstream country anymore. We have, Tony Justice is like our newest, he's the one that sings about, and then we have people like the Road Hammers, which is also a good group that sings about trucking, and obviously the Road Hammers, because that's we kind of consider like, we say a lot, hammer down, and,
What does that mean?
It means like
just
pretty much pedal to the metal.
Okay, that's what I was going to guess.
Yeah, pretty much get her done, like keep going until the job gets done.
Yeah. So in one of your videos, you talked about like what you haul. You talked about like the metal bars you have to put up and how that can be really tricky to put up sometimes. What are so chains are hard. What are some of the other hard things about trucking?
Okay, so definitely load locks, which are the metal bars that we were talking about. And they're mostly, you could have them in dry vans. That particular video where I was doing refrigerated, which is another term for us. We called refrigerated trailers reefers.
Okay.
And we put in load locks to keep the pallets from sliding in the trailer. So you don't necessarily need them in a dry van most of the time because most of the freight is heavy enough that it
doesn't move.
It doesn't move
because it's just on pallets and it's all like packaged together.
Too. Yeah. Like the inside of the trailer, it's
boarded.
Just
and the
like
refrigerated it's got this like insulation
metal grate.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's also so you've got the two bars that you have to put behind it so that it doesn't slide back and forth on in the trailer. Exactly.
So we just want to keep everything from toppling over, but sometimes things topple over anyways.
Yeah.
Which I think I talked about that on one of mine, and that has to do with this. Sometimes they saran wrap the pallets to keep everything together. So imagine like a lot of your grocery items and they're just mixed in a giant pile on top of a pallet, a wood pallet, and saran wrapped together. That is how your groceries are delivered.
And do you like go from grocery store to grocery store, like dropping off pallets?
Yes.
Wow.
So there was one that I think my first ever video, I did a video where I had 5 stores that I had to stop at. I had 2 in Salt Lake and 3 in Montana, all in the same day.
What?
I had to get that. Yeah. I started really early in the morning, did the first 2, and then drove all the way up to Montana and did the last 3.
Well, that's like an 8-hour drive or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It is. To get all that done, it's quite tight, and so.
And what happens like if you don't make it in time?
Well, I think the thing is the grocery store is actually getting deliveries all day.
Okay.
So it's okay if they get some that are like, they have room to move things around.
Okay.
And most of the time we're supplying the back stock of the store.
Okay.
So,
yeah. What's in the back? So everything's
yeah,
like on the shelves already, but
exactly. During this time, I mean, we're supplying the stuff that's going on the shelves, but
yeah,
we do try to get everything there as quickly as possible because we have to.
Yeah.
Our clock won't work if we don't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And so what do you okay, so over the road, when you've got you say that a lot, does that just mean you're on the road driving over the road?
Okay, so over the road is a general term for any driver that has to live over the road for any period of time. So
Okay. So the other truck drivers will literally they'll do like day trips and they don't live in their truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So those will be day cabs. And so most over-the-road drivers will have a truck called a sleeper truck that has that extra little bits on the back where it's got the bunk and you can sleep in it. And no, we don't have a toilet, which is a misconception. Everybody thinks it's like an RV and you have this toilet in there and a shower. And I'm like, how can you fit all this in this little tiny truck?
And so when you go, you said you just got back from an 8-day trip. And where did you go?
That's a fun one. I started here in Salt Lake City and I went to Hartford, Connecticut. And from Hartford, Connecticut, I went to Dallas, Texas. From Dallas, Texas, I went to Portland, Oregon. And now I'm home in Salt Lake again.
Wow. So you literally did like 5,000 miles.
Yeah. Like,
or more.
I think it was, it was probably more than that. Because I think it's 2130 to Hartford, Connecticut, and then it was 17 something to Dallas, and then it was 2300 to Portland, and then it's 750 back to Salt Lake.
Wow, that's incredible. So what were you taking across the country? Can you tell?
FedEx is different where they just give me a trailer number. I pick it up. I never know what's inside of it. I just know its destination. So, and most of the time it's FedEx ground. So it's the stuff that you get delivered to your home. So whatever you're ordering on Overstock, on Amazon, we pick up from all those places. Well, actually, I guess not Amazon anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I've been on the local side here too, so I know exactly like what we're hauling here. So that's pretty cool. Like I know what's coming out of our hub. So we have like Mrs. Fields cookies here,
and you got to get them there. And so it takes you like 2 days, and you get them there. Wow, that's how we get our 2-day deliveries. Is people you guys are are trucking from one end of the country to the other.
Yeah, literally in less than 48 hours.
Wow, thank you.
It is hard, let me tell you, because you don't stop. You know, you stop and the truck is moving 24/7. So that's kind of a thing I think a lot of people don't know is a lot of the trucks on the road don't even turn off the entire week. They're running. So, you know, like, for example, got to Dallas, Texas, walked into line haul. There was a paperwork with my truck number on it saying you're going to Portland. Pick it up, go
and
hook
you
up
don't know
another
until
set.
you got there.
Exactly.
And so do you get paid? Do you get paid extra for doing these long trips, or do you have like 8 days on and then a few days off, or like how does that work?
It's kind of all over the place, which and I think FedEx is kind of a cushy job compared to a lot of trucking jobs because we don't have a lot of waiting around. We don't have any unloading or loading times where we have to back up to a dock and wait for somebody to take the pallets off our trailers. We just drop them.
Oh, you just drop off the trailer.
We just drop them off. We split them up, we drop them off, and then we go get our next couple. But we generally, FedEx drivers who are over the road, even dedicated, are, and a dedicated would be like someone who always goes to Kansas City, Missouri every week, and they just do that run. At a specific time, there's always freight to go to this destination, so therefore they make a dedicated route. And these are generally reserved for older drivers who have done their time, and they need like reliable home time or something like that. And home time is the time that we actually get off and get to spend at home. So for us, it's about 5 to 6 days out. And then generally you get 48 hours off, generally. But they'll try to push you. But this time I was out 8 days.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Do you get to stop and do anything, or is it literally just from one stop to the next for those whole 8 days?
I'm the kind of person who gets out and walks around. So if I'm at a place where I can walk around, I will definitely take that opportunity because it's very nice.
Yeah.
And there's all these things. A lot of drivers, we drive by, we get to see the entire country. But the one thing that they always add, which is really funny, at 60 miles an hour. So we get to see the entire country, but at 60 miles an hour. And, we don't get to experience it.
As a woman and a young woman in the trucking industry, do you feel like a woman in a man's world? Do you feel like people take you seriously? Well, you're educated, you're strong, you obviously, you're good at what you do. So I'm just curious of what it's like.
There are, it's pretty 50-50. Okay. And so I would say that no, there aren't people who openly look down upon me in any way. And I think it's a lot. I think it has a lot to do with, I dress with as I respect myself, I respect my job. I dress to do my job. I don't dress because we're not necessarily regulated on what we wear. So we don't have a uniform most times. So it's up to you what you wear. So you could wear pajamas all day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And I choose not to. I choose to wear what I consider to be my uniform, which is a collared shirt and dark pants. And I always wear pants. I never wear shorts. I always wear shoes that are closed-toed shoes, like tennis shoes, to do this job. I don't wear flip-flops, which is actually common in our industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of, it's funny, but it is what it is. And I think if you show that you respect yourself, you in turn get respect. So a lot of the times I have been afforded that respect because I think I come across as
taking it seriously.
Exactly. And there have been times where in my job I have to wheel around this dolly, which is the thing that connects our two trailers together. It's part of our trailer set, and you have to wheel this thing around by hand. And if it's on a slope of any kind, these things weigh 2 tons.
That's 4,000 pounds.
Exactly.
You wheel it around by hand?
Exactly. They are so hard to maneuver. So most of the time I will hook it onto my truck and I will maneuver it with my truck, which is a skill on its own because It is very hard to do. we wheel around these big trailers, but the little tiny dolly is literally the hardest thing you'll ever do in your career. And it's just because it's just got we're such a long vehicle, and then we have this short tiny thing that just reacts so quickly behind us that it's hard to get it to go where you want it to go.
Yeah.
And I have once let my dolly roll away from me into a trailer as I was trying to hook it onto something, but I just let it go because I couldn't hold it back anymore. I'm not strong enough to hold this thing from rolling away from me. And I heard a driver from across the yard yell something like "you idiot" or something like that. And it didn't affect me that much because I was just like, okay, I'm not.
You're like, have you seen how big I am? Yeah. You're like,
well, it's funny because those drivers won't stand in front of the dollies either. They'll let them go. It's not about letting it go. It's just, I think it's just because it's me, you know?
Right.
Because most of the time you'll have two guys out there wheeling them around because you can't make them do what you want them to do. That's why I always try to set up myself for success and not have to do as much work, because it's all about finesse, not about brute force.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And so as long as you set it up, you can make your life a whole lot easier. And so basically all I did was I used the trailer. I put both of my feet on the trailer and I pushed against it, you know, with all my body weight, and pushed the dolly back. Yeah. And then I tried it again and I got it on the hook. And then I hooked up and it was all good. Wow. And so it's just, sometimes you get those people that just, they can't help it. You know, I saw it as, this guy generally probably yells at every person on the road, even though they can't hear him. Right. and so it's just,
you didn't internalize it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's innate and it's a habit for him. Yeah. And so therefore I just took it as that. And I was like, huh.
Yeah. Way to go.
So I try to see things, you know, what could be why this happened, or why this person's acting this way. That's why I try, whenever I run into anybody, I try to smile at them. I hold the door. I've bought so many people their coffee. Oh man. Yeah. I remember buying an old couple. They were behind me at a Pilot Flying J on Thanksgiving, and I was like, why are they here? And I was like, here, pay for whatever they need.
That is amazing. That, you know, you put out good in the world and you put out good wherever you go, and you're going to get it back.
Honestly, I thought that was so cliche for so long.
But it's true.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The most cliche things are so true.
They are. They totally are.
It's almost unsettling sometimes. It's like, oh, but that's something my mom used to say. So could that really be true?
Yeah. So what did your family think about you going into truck driving?
So I think my mom, who's always been a businesswoman, she is currently an exec for an IT or like a technology company. And so this is so far away from anything she expected. My dad, he is an assistant chief of a fire station, and my step-parents also have similar jobs. I have a stepfather who is a doctor, and my stepmother who is the captain of our EMS in our town. So she does a lot, and they all do things that are just, they're really good in their careers. Yeah. Like I think that's one thing I get from my family is the drive to do things.
Like if you're going to do it, you're going to do it well.
Exactly.
And you're going to be the best.
Oh man.
You're going to try. You're at least going to try to do the best you can.
I will try. I try not to say like, you know, I feel like almost reaching, it's about doing and how you do it, not necessarily the result or the goal at the end of it.
Right. It's not about perfection or anything. Yeah.
And I find that that's gotten me further than anything.
So I want to know, like, how you got into how did you decide, I want to do YouTube, I want to do Instagram? Was it after you decided you wanted to start your website, or was it because you've now garnered, like, on one of your videos more than 2 million views, which was that surprising for you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. What's crazy is I think I've been doing this for less than 3 months, my YouTube channel. And it caught me off guard is what it did.
Yeah.
And not only was I terrified at doing a video in general, because I'm a very introverted person. I know I probably don't seem like it. I perform very well. Like, I don't have performance anxiety, but when it comes to social things, just like what I was saying in college, I didn't go out and party because I didn't do well in social situations. It wasn't my thing. It didn't make me happy.
Yeah.
And I think the way I mustered the courage to do it is because I wanted to help others so much, or help others see that they could do this, or I don't know, or maybe share my feelings about how I achieved finding my path that works for me. And
yeah,
I think it was just like a bunch of things combined, and now it's kind of evolving because it's still so new. I told you I initially started everything because I wanted to help other drivers. And so my website is actually older than my YouTube. I think one of my first posts was back in 2018 or August 2018. And I was writing these posts in the back of a moving truck as it was going across the country. You know, I was so passionate about doing this that I think the YouTube just sort of I came to terms with it. I always knew that I would probably need to go that route because I was also looking there when I first started, and that's where I started.
Oh, I see. And you wanted information.
And I didn't find it.
Okay.
And so that's what led me to be like, okay, how do I supply this information? Because Google is not going to like my brand new website and show it to people.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. So how did you... So Bodie is your co-driver?
Yeah.
You guys take turns driving?
Yes.
Oh, but he's also your videographer?
Yes.
All right. How did this happen?
I know.
That's amazing.
Friends. I know. We've been friends forever. He actually has his CDL. He hasn't done any driving in the past year and a half. And so he agreed to help me with this YouTube because he thought he can move back to Salt Lake and he has like a bunch of opportunities over here to increase his or build his business
in photography and videography.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And he's just like, well, we'll do yours while I work on other things as well. And it just so happened that the COVID-19 happened and all of his stuff got canceled.
Oh. And
so he needed money, and my solo gig, the rates weren't very good. So I was working so hard for next to nothing. I felt like, oh my gosh, you could employ me at an ice cream shop at this point. Yeah. Like, I was so upset, and I was offered this position, and I believe my contractor made me a really, really good deal. And he's like, if you can get him to drive with you and you guys can team this, like, you can still make videos and we can work this out and you guys will be making this much. And I was like, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah. Good.
So, and it's only been, it's only been 3 weeks. And
wow.
Yeah, it's going good.
Good.
And we're really trying. It's been a learning curve again to try to figure out how to fit time in for these things, because I think people don't also realize how long the truck driver works.
Well, I mean, you and I have been trying to schedule this for, I don't know. I mean, a long time, because you're on the road the whole time, and it's tricky.
Yeah. And then I think one of the hookups was, I thought from Dallas they were going to send me home. And then all of a sudden I go to Portland And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to reschedule again.
Yeah. I'm just so glad you guys did. So how has your feminine will given you the confidence or edge in this endeavor?
I think it has a lot to do with my mom. I think she has persevered through a lot in her life. And I think also I would like to give a lot of credit to my stepmom for showing me that some of the things that I liked when I was younger were okay. I was more of a tomboy, and I think she relates to that. My stepmother relates to that more than my biological mother. And so I got the best of both. And I feel like I am an extremely hard worker. And I also know how to be, I guess, prim and proper.
Yeah. Yeah, you have both sides of it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it was just a really good combination in my upbringing. And knowing that I had powerful people behind me that were, I mean, my stepmother was the first female EMS captain in our county. So
wow.
So she made milestones, and my mom, she's big. Like she just climbed the ladder like nobody's business. And being an exec of a big company is a real big achievement itself.
Definitely.
And I think having, I guess, role models that I didn't even know that I was even looking at. I was just like, oh, that's just mom,
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Oh,
I think
beautiful.
I think that really played a big role, and then me just wanting something and going for it.
Having the courage to go for it. And how long have you been truck driving now? How many years?
3 years.
Okay.
So.
And what is, if there was anything else you would say to the audience, like, what would that be?
Notice the thing that goes by, like it's in your life and you smile at it, but it's almost like it's invisible. It's so weird that I think, like, back whenever I drive home from school, I'd see those trucks and I'd be like, yeah, I want to do that. And then I get home and then it would be like it never happened. I guess be open to the things that actually spark something within you. Notice them. Notice that little tiny spark of something and allow it to be more than that. Or just notice it and see if it will be more than that. I can't explain how I did not know. And I would have never known if somebody didn't point it out to me. If somebody didn't say, it's okay, you can like this. You are allowed to like this. And you're allowed to take a break from school. Let yourself have that freedom to choose where you want to go and what you want to do with your life. Don't feel trapped to somebody else's path as much as you believe that it's yours. Like, listen to you, listen to your mind. How happy are you doing what you're doing right now? And don't be afraid of the unknown.
That is my conversation with Shelby. If you have not heard of her, you need to go check her out on Instagram, Happiness by the Mile. It's really cool just seeing what she does. And then check out her YouTube as well, Happiness by the Mile. It's just fun watching what she does because you just get an idea of what it's really like being a truck driver. I love that she went from pre-med pediatric neurology to truck driver. A perfect example of going after your dreams and making something happen that was not originally in your path. Just stopping and pivoting altogether and just doing it. If there is something that you have wanted to do, go. Do it. There's only one life to live. Let's live it. If you have not subscribed to Feminine Will Podcast on Instagram, please do it. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button on your wherever you listen to podcasts, on Apple or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts, then hit subscribe so you get a new episode every single Monday. Go and share this with a friend. Text it to them right now. If you enjoyed the episode, share it. Thank you so much for listening every week. It really means so much that you do, and it means so much that you've been sharing it. Thank you for following us. Please share on your Facebook or Instagram. These are meant to be really inspiring messages and stories of women who are doing hard things, who are being brave, who are going out and following their dreams, who are athletic, adventurous, and brave. Thank you. And if you have a recommendation on who I should interview, then please send me a message, Andrea at sweatseat, SWETSEAT.com. And see you next time.